Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happen every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Danielle. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at WomensSportsWeeklyPod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Send us an email at WomensSportsWeeklyPod@gmail.com, and we may feature your email on our Listeners Experience Zone, also known as the Les.
We have Run Club this week. We have Run Club on Thursday at the 99ers, which is a women's sports bar here in Denver at 6 o'clock p.m. We run 3 miles and would love for you to come if you're in the area. We also have some incentives. So if you say this secret word at Run Club when you're ordering your first drink, you will receive 50% off your first draft. And the secret word for this week is gold. And Danielle, you got to talk to us about why it's gold, because we are back from vacation and you won gold. Yeah. And we haven't told the listeners where we've been or what we've been up to. We've been posting some hints along the way, but really not too many details. So why is our secret word gold, and what were we up to on our 2-week vacation?
Yes. So not the whole 2 weeks, but each year my company does an international basketball tournament. Because it's a global company, we get together with the other countries all under the same company branch, and we play basketball against all the other teams. So I was on Team USA, and it was interesting because it was co-ed. So it was myself, one other woman on the team, and then all men. So it was 9 men and 2 women on USA, and then some of the countries didn't even have women. So that part was very interesting, but such a great opportunity to network with people from different countries in my company, and just a really cool overall experience. We played 3 games on the Friday we were there and 3 games on the Saturday we were there, and USA, we won all 6-0.
Can you talk a little bit about what was the process like for you to get on Team USA with your company?
Yes, it was basically just a Google form, and I filled it out, explained my basketball experience, and they do this, like I said, every year. And for USA, you can only go once in your career, essentially. So I filled out a form to give my experience, and I got selected.
And what were the other teams? Like, where were they from?
So there was 8 teams altogether, which usually it's more, but it was Italy, Croatia, Greece, USA, Germany, Poland, South Korea, and the UK.
It was so fun. It was really cool to be part of. It was interesting that it was co-ed because there were some dynamics that happened within a co-ed team that were interesting to be part of, but definitely a cool experience. And my favorite part was getting to meet the other teams. I was your stat girl.
Yes. So I'd love to talk about that too, because you always joke that you want to be a WAG, and you finally got your chance to be a WAG on this trip. You were asked to do the book for our team, so you were like part of the team. Everyone just knew you were part of the team. You even got a uniform yourself, which I absolutely love. So is being a WAG all that you hoped it would be?
Well, I thought there would be like a little bit more glitz and glamour, but it was fun. And I do like that role. I love to be part of things. So to get to sit on the bench, like I've always said, I think the best seat in the house is the person on the bench at a college basketball game. They get to have so much fun. They get to watch, especially if they have no expectation of playing. Like that, I think, is a great place to be in. And that's kind of where I was. I wasn't playing at all, but I got to be on the bench and be part of it. It was a really cool opportunity for you. And I'm just really happy that I got to be part of it.
Yeah, I was so happy and grateful that you were there too. And it was fun to get to play in front of you. I was the oldest person on the team, which is really something. There were people who were 10 years younger than me on the team. So
there were actual baby boys. There were baby boys on your team.
So young, but I'm just really happy I was able to do it. And I got selected to be in the 3-point contest. That was so fun because the energy in the gym for that, and every time I hit a shot, the crowd just got louder and louder, and all the countries were just cheering. And I think sometimes men don't think women can do certain things, as well we've talked about on this podcast. Every time I hit a shot, I think they were just in awe, and I hit 10 of 15, which I was really proud of for that. So that was a highlight for me of that trip too.
Yeah, I think at one point you hit 5 in a row. Was that right?
Yes.
The place was erupting in Liverpool. It was just so cool. I have it on video. I was screaming in the background. I was like trying to move around to make sure I got all the spots. And that performance led you to receive female MVP of the tournament.
Yeah, I wish I played better in the games. I just feel like I struggled a bit, but overall, great time. Lots of beers were drank.
Oh my God.
Lots of food, lots of basketball, but Liverpool is wild.
Liverpool is the Jersey Shore of the UK.
Yeah.
And it is crazy there. The way people dress, the way people act. It's the Jersey Shore. And I love the Jersey Shore, but you gotta be prepared.
Yes. But I do think I'm back in retirement from a basketball standpoint.
Wow.
We'll see if I come back out. But I think that was a good way to close that chapter right now.
Well, we have it on recording now, so that's great. No, but it has been fun to watch you play. And you were playing in the A1s.
Yes.
The new Asia Wilson basketball shoes.
They were great. So if you're still playing basketball, I'd highly recommend getting them because they were super comfortable.
Yes.
Big fan. But we also did other things on this trip. So we spent some time in Scotland on the front end of the trip, and then you and I ended it in Switzerland. And I will say to everyone, if you have the opportunity to travel overseas, Scotland and Switzerland were both incredible.
Agreed. Like you said, we added on to the front half of the trip before your basketball tournament and then to the second half afterwards. And some of my family members actually came. My mom, her two friends came, and my cousin and my aunt came out. And they got to watch you play basketball, and they also joined us in Scotland. So we have a travel journal that we share together, which if you're in a couple and you go travel somewhere, I highly recommend this because it's been so great to look back on the places that you and I have traveled and see our perspectives. And we started it at our honeymoon, and now we've done Kenya, and now we've done this trip. I wrote down multiple times how lucky I felt that, one, my family got to be there. That time with my mom, I just thought was so important and so nice, and time with her friends and my cousin and my aunt, especially as people are getting older and we're getting older. I'm so thankful for that time.
Yep.
And they love you and loved getting to watch you play basketball, which was so fun. So that was so great. And then after the tournament was done in Liverpool, the friends and family headed back to the US, and then you and I went to Switzerland. And I, again, kept writing, I just feel so lucky to have the opportunity to get to go on vacation for 2 weeks, which is so nice and felt so needed for me because everything's been very stressful, especially professionally in my life. Getting time with you in a place like Switzerland was just really, really amazing. So I'm really grateful for it.
Same. And I got to celebrate my birthday in Switzerland, and it was hands down the best birthday I've ever had. We just had the best day, and I agree. I'm just grateful as well that we're able to do that, and we just had the best vacation. So love you.
I love you too. And we're happy to be back. But yeah, that opportunity to just reset and get time together is amazing. And your birthday, it was a perfect day for you, and it was very close to a perfect day for me. We woke up and run, which would have probably been the only thing that I took away. We woke up, we ran, we went on a boat and went on a beautiful hike together. Switzerland is just the most beautiful place I've ever been to, and I love their public transportation. I could do a whole podcast about their public transportation, but then we did a hike together. We went to a day spa, and then we came back to our hotel and then went to a really, really nice dinner.
Yes.
So it was just a really great day.
It was.
We missed your birthday these past couple of weeks. We've missed a lot of sports, but we have one more thing we need to talk about personally, and that is that we won another championship this past weekend.
And it was great. The best thing ever, honestly.
It was, the highlight of my last 2 weeks. I'm just kidding. But the Barbies, our softball team,
shout out.
We've spoke about them before on this podcast. We won the championship.
Finally.
We've played for the Barbies for 4 years now.
Yeah.
And we have not won the championship. We've come in second a couple times, but we finally took home the championship.
And we learned this weekend that it's been 18 years since the Barbies won in the upper division championship. So this was a huge deal. And we had to beat one of the teams twice in order to win the championship. So played one game, won, and then played another game, won. And then we had to play that team again after
they made their way out of the losers bracket.
Yes. And then we beat them again and it felt better.
We beat
ever.
the Smarties. I'm going to call them out. I think I've called them out on this before. They live up to their name. They do play smart. Annoyingly smart. They walk around the bases all the time. I don't care. I know you're giving me a face right now. The Smarties are getting it right now. They walk around the bases, and then they got out on purpose because we play under a time limit so that they could get into the next inning to hopefully score some more runs and win. So they are smart. But the A's is the ass part, and they live up to that as well. Yeah. They are nasty. We don't like playing them. There's no love between the teams.
Not at all. We butt heads like you wouldn't believe.
Exactly. And it felt so good to beat them. I said to you after, I was like, you know how some people say when they win a championship, it just feels like relief? I'm like, that didn't feel like that at all for me. That just felt euphoric. I want to beat the Smarties all day, every day. And it was so great. So congratulations to the Barbies.
Hell yeah. Go Barbies.
Go Barbies.
It's a Barbie world.
Okay, let's get into some actual professional sports.
What I did wasn't professional.
I mean, the Barbies are close, but
and my basketball. All right.
Let's talk about some more softball, actually. So we're going to talk about some things we missed over the past couple weeks. So the Talons won the inaugural Athletes Unlimited Softball League Softball Championship. They defeated the Bandits 1-0 in front of a sold-out crowd at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa and averaged 230,000 fans watching on ESPN. The pitcher for the Talons, Montana Fouts, threw a complete game shutout, which is really difficult to do in professional softball. And she did it in front of a crowd that she knows really well because she went to Alabama. So that was pretty cool to see. So congrats to the Talons on the first Athletes Unlimited Softball League Softball Championship.
That's awesome. Another thing we missed, sadly, All-Star Weekend. And Natasha Cloud won the skills challenge. And Sabrina Ionescu won the 3-point challenge.
The New York Liberty just cleaning up.
Seriously, question for you. Do you think I can take my 3-point skills against Sabrina?
No, I don't, because I have a stat here. She made 11 threes in a row at one point in her final round. And so your 5 in a row would have to compete with her 11 in a row.
Sabrina, I'm coming for you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It was really cool because Sonia Citron, rookie for the Washington Mystics, also did the 3-point challenge and was really nervous to do it. And Sabrina told her before the competition started, like, hey, if I win this, I'm going to give half of my winnings to you.
Which is so unreal.
So kind to offer that, and then so kind to follow through and actually do that, and gave half of her winnings to Sonia Citron. And I just love the love that these veteran players are showing towards the rookies who are taking chances, and to go out there and do a 3-point contest your rookie year, like, that's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That was really cool. And then in the game itself, Team Collier beat Team Clark 151-131. That is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I have some more stats about that. It was the record for the most points scored in an all-star game. This was more like a let's go out there and have some fun game.
It's like an NBA all-star game.
Yes. And last year in the all-star game, it was Team USA versus the All-Stars, and Team USA had to take it seriously because they had to get in form. And we also have to remember that the season is longer now in the WNBA. It's 44 games rather than 40. And these players are tired and they don't want to get hurt at the All-Star game. And so, yeah, it was not like the best basketball you're going to see. However, Nafisa Collier won All-Star MVP. She made 13 of her 16 shots and set an all-star single game points record. More records being broken. Skylar Diggins posted the most assists in an all-star game and recorded the first triple-double in all-star game history. Very cool for her.
Love her.
Yeah, we do love her. But yeah, a highlight for me was the StudBudz.
I feel like they went viral over the weekend. Like
they
every
went viral.
time I looked at my Instagram, it was them, which was so great because I love them.
It was really great. So Minnesota Lynx guards Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann have been providing video content on Twitch where they kind of just live stream their lives. And they took that live stream and they brought it to All-Star Weekend, and they did it for 72 hours straight. They did not turn off the live stream.
And they're best friends, and it comes out so clearly. It's just so pure.
And this was streamed on Twitch, and I have to admit that I have no idea what Twitch is.
Glad I'm not the only one.
But I did see the highlights on Instagram. So they were showing conversations in their hotel room. They were showing conversations that were happening at parties. They were showing conversations in the locker room. They were showing combos with Marina Mabry and Sanaya Rivers and whatever the heck is happening there. It was wild. They had Kathy Engelbert dancing to Knuck If You Buck. Like, I don't think the StudBudz will be allowed to do this again next year because we got access that I don't know if we'll ever see again.
Yeah, I saw Cheryl Reeve dancing with them. It was a party.
But it is very cool to see, especially two Black women, masculine presenting, receive so much deserved attention for what they're doing. And I want to hang out with them. I want to be around them. And to have that access was just really, really cool. It was really entertaining. On top of that, on the more serious side, the other thing that I really loved about All-Star Weekend and what really I love about the WNBA in general is that the players always stand up for what they believe in. And in the All-Star game, they had on t-shirts that say, "Pay us what you owe us." And this is in regards to the CBA that is being negotiated. This is the collective bargaining agreement. And during the All-Star game, during the trophy presentation, fans in Indianapolis, which I don't love to give Indiana Fever fans a lot of credit, but I'm going to give them a lot of credit here. They broke out into a pay them chant, which I thought was really amazing. And Brittany Sykes, Slim from the Washington Mystics, who made it to All-Star Weekend, I'm so happy for her, was standing behind Kathy Engelbert with a sign that said, "Pay the players."
Yep.
And during All-Star Weekend, CBA negotiations were happening with the Players Union and the WNBA. There were over 40 players, which is apparently a record at the bargaining session, which is really, really great. And I know that the WNBA players are frustrated with how the negotiations are going and understand that frustration. And also, I think it's a great opportunity for us as fans to continue to put on the pressure.
Yeah.
Of these women need to be paid. They need to be paid more. There's no reason a rookie should be making what they're making. They need to figure out how they're going to manage injuries as the number of games in a season increases. There are a lot of things on the table that are very, very important. And I think this is where we as fans can have some power of putting the pressure on the WNBA to continue to do that.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's going to be important. So I'm really curious to see what comes out of all of this. Like, I feel like we've been talking about the CBA for so long now, and I'm just dying to know what the outcome is going to be. And I hope it's in the players' favor.
I hope it's historic, and these negotiations just must be really tough and tense.
Yeah.
Because the WNBA is looking at the bottom line, and the players deserve so much more. And it's pretty amazing to me that Kathy was like dancing to Knuck If You Buck and then joining a CBA session, because there is going to be that natural tension where one side is not going to try to give as much because they're going to try to make as much money as possible. And the other side is like, we deserve to be making that money, and they're 100% right. So
yeah.
We'll be keeping our eyes on that for sure. Let's get into some more quick hits. What did we miss these past couple weeks?
So first thing, Unrivaled signed 14 women's college basketball players to NIL deals, which I absolutely love. Juju Watkins, Lauren Betts, Hannah Hidalgo, Easy Fudd, Flau'jae Johnson are just a few of them.
I know. It was really cool to see the content that Unrivaled always puts out, where they had Easy Fudd and Juju Watkins together. And they also had Lauren Betts' sister, Sienna Betts, who will be at UCLA this year. So really cool to see how Unrivaled is investing in the future by giving these players NIL deals.
And I think it's really smart because a lot of people will watch college basketball, not necessarily the WNBA. And I do feel like that's shifting a little more. Like people are starting to follow, but historically speaking, so to get the attention from these college kids into Unrivaled now, it's just the translation is so smart.
That's a great point.
Like people who follow AZ Fudd who might not be watching right now, who really like her, maybe they don't know what Unrivaled is. And now it's just getting those sparks flying. So yeah, I just think that's a really smart move.
They got a good little business model going over there.
Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Colley are no dummies. That's why having a player-led league is special.
I hope the WNBA is taking notice when they're negotiating their CBA contracts. Another fun highlight, Cameron Brink is back. She is back after a knee surgery, after a torn ACL. It's been 13 months. Damn. It's a long time. She was the 2024 number 2 draft pick. In her first game back, she played limited minutes, but she had 5 points and 3 rebounds. The Sparks ended up losing to the Las Vegas Aces 89-74. I'm just really happy to have her back. I can imagine that it is difficult to come back after an injury like that and come back into WNBA form. So just really hoping she finds her groove. And it would be great for LA if they could find a spark in Cameron Brink and take that with them into the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it will take some time, as all injuries do, and just getting back to the speed of the game. But I'm hoping she gets more comfortable and does some good things.
On top of that, maybe exciting news, maybe not exciting news, depending on what kind of fan you are. Dejanay Carrington is heading to the Minnesota Lynx. She is leaving the Dallas Wings and headed to the Minnesota Lynx in a trade for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and Minnesota's second-round draft pick in 2027. I know that Dejanay Carrington has like a special relationship with Paige Beckers, but if I'm Dejanay, I'm like, peace out, Dallas.
Yeah.
This is wild here.
Yep.
The coach doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. The players have wide eyes when they're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it must be a little bit difficult, but go on to Minnesota, who's going to be championship contenders.
Seriously.
See you later. The trade deadline is this Thursday, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. Alyssa Peely's headed to the LA Sparks, which is exciting, but I'm sure we'll see some more before this podcast comes out.
Yes. We are going to pause for a quick ad for ourselves. We love putting this podcast together and we want to continue to do it. We create, produce, and edit the podcast ourselves. And there are simple ways you can help support us. You can rate, subscribe, give a positive review, and share our podcast with people you love. If you have a sports fan and you know they love women's sports and they're not listening, share our podcast with them. That would be awesome. Also, for anyone who has rated the podcast, if you send us a screenshot of your 5-star rating, we will send you a Women's Sports Weekly sticker.
I love seeing the stickers all around. We've posted some stickers now in Europe, so be on the lookout. If you go up a random tower in Switzerland, you may just find a Women's Sports Weekly sticker.
And a random pole somewhere in Scotland.
Yeah.
In Edinburgh.
All right, let's get into our deep dive today because we haven't talked about the Euro finals. And we normally don't talk too much about international sports because it just gets too big and we try to keep this nice and concise, but we are breaking our own guidelines because we actually went to the Women's Euro 2025 final, women's soccer. It was amazing. Danielle, how did this happen? How did we get there?
So I was loosely following Euros. You were definitely following them more closely. I was just living day to day leading up to our trip and honestly at our trip because there were just certain things that had to be done. And we knew that the Euro final was going to be in Switzerland, but we didn't exactly know where because we didn't do the research. And we're just trying to get through and just enjoy it. Literally the morning we wake up from our last night in Liverpool, which by the way, we were out till 2 a.m. and woke up at 5:30. So we were on 3.5 hours of sleep to hop on a plane to go to Switzerland. So not thinking straight, but we were like, wait, the Euro finals are tonight and we're going to be in Switzerland this afternoon. Let's look up where it is. Happens to be that the stadium was an hour train ride from where our hotel was. So before hopping on the plane to Switzerland, what did we do? We bought tickets to the games, dropped our stuff up at our hotel, still on 3 hours of sleep, got ready, got on a train and went to the stadium to watch this amazing Euro Cup finals.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was one of a few spontaneous things we did on vacation, which I love when like vacation sides come out and you're like, yeah, I'm on vacation. Let's just do whatever. And I was like, yeah, we're in Switzerland and it's only an hour away and we can get tickets for relatively cheap. Like, we're going.
And you said I surprised you with that because you didn't think I'd be so spontaneous.
I didn't. And I knew, like, I had been keeping track of the Euros, just kind of like what was happening, but I didn't know that you would be so interested. And you were like, yeah, we're going. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. And I was like, you're right. Let's go.
Yeah. So it was Spain versus England, and these two teams really put on a show. We were sitting in the España. Is that okay to say? España. We were sitting in the Spain section. We, by the way, were like basically on the floor behind the goal. I don't know how we got these tickets. So I was rooting for Spain because I was like, these fans are awesome. And being in that section, I was like, damn, I want Spain to win. And Spain was in control most of the game. So anyways, let's get into the actual game and talk about some stats here.
So this was between world number 5 England and number 2 Spain, and England ends up winning this game after a penalty shootout. It was 1-1 after regular time and overtime, and then they go into a penalty shootout and England wins 3-1 in that shootout. But let's talk about this match just a little bit more. The first half was dominated by Spain.
Yes. Domination.
I was like, they might score 5 goals. Spain scored in the first half with a header from Mariana Caldente in the 25th minute. They were just in control. They were stringing passes together. They continued to put on pressure.
And by the way, this header was sick and it was in the goal. We were right behind. So seeing that up close was one of the coolest things ever.
For sure. They go to halftime and England comes out and I'm like, what did England take? And what did Spain do? Because England came out so strong in the second half and Spain looked like they were sleeping a little bit. Things especially changed for England when they brought in key subs. And I need to now spend some time talking about Chloe Kelly because she came in the second half as a sub. And when she came in, I was like, whoa, who is that? And the whole pace and momentum shifted for England.
Yep.
So Chloe Kelly almost did not make this England team. And I need to get into this a little bit. She was playing for Manchester City at the start of the year. And although she was on the team, she was not playing for them. They were not playing her. She was getting very limited minutes for them. And she was very unhappy. So from what I've gathered, she shared that frustration with Man City. They kind of ignored and were like, this is how you're going to be used and it's limited. And she knew that in order to make the national team that she needed to get more minutes. So she goes on social media and she says, I'm extremely unhappy at Man City and I don't want to be here anymore. That was kind of the gist of it. And that social media pressure kind of made Man City put her out on loan and she went on loan to Arsenal. And that is a way to do things when you're really, really unhappy. Yeah. So she goes to Arsenal and she ends up playing more and more at Arsenal, and Arsenal ends up winning the UEFA Women's Champions League, and Chloe Kelly is doing a lot better there. And she makes it onto the England team. For this England team, the entire Euros, she's been coming off as a sub. That's a hard thing to do. It's a hard position to be in unless you're like Lynn Williams or Chloe Kelly.
Yep.
So she is playing really, really well in this tournament. She subs into this game and she assisted in England's first goal of the match. She served the ball for a header from Alessia Russo, who scored in the 57th minute. So now it's 1-1. You spoke a little bit about the environment being on the Spain side. Can you just talk about the environment in general at this match?
The fact that it was mostly England fans.
You felt that way?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was.
Is that what you're getting at, or?
Well, I'm getting at that one, and also what was the vibe there, especially compared to other matches that we may have gone to in the US. Like, I just feel like a match in Europe is totally different.
Everyone was super into it, and it was a sold out crowd, and the waves and the singing, but I want you to tell me your perspective because I feel like you have something in your head and I'm just curious what you felt.
No, that's it. The chanting, Spain was chanting, the fans were chanting the entire time, and then all of the England fans were just making so much noise. It felt really cool to be part of because it just felt like everyone was locked in. I also was super impressed by the range of people that were there. It was like young to old and everywhere in between, and ratio man to woman was very even.
Yeah, and
me.
Some kids, so it was definitely a great crowd overall.
All right, let's get back to this match. So regular time ends, it's 1-1. They go into overtime, 2 15-minute halves, and then Spain starts getting their possession back. And I thought that Spain was going to score in extra time.
I know.
But England just kept keeping their cool on defense. It was really cool because we were very close to the field to see how they positioned themselves on defense, and I was just really amazed by that. But both teams failed to score in extra time and pushed the game into penalty kicks. And we were so bummed because we were right behind one of the goals and they flipped a coin and it went over to the England side. And we were like, no, we were going to be able to watch them so close.
But to be fair, both goals that were scored in this game were in the goal that we were at. So I guess it's only fair, but we were super bummed.
That's a good point. So they go into penalty kicks, and this is where England's goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton.
Unreal. Yeah,
she makes 2 crucial saves, and then none other than Chloe Kelly comes in and seals the deal and scores the 3rd penalty kick for England to win the Euro finals.
I'm so happy we went, as tired as we were. It was such an incredible experience. Hard to believe they only do that once every 4 years.
I know.
I'm just so happy we were there.
This was the most watched and best attended Women's Euro ever, with a record-setting 657,000 fans attending. And we got to be one of those fans.
Yes.
Also, I just need to point out that U.S. viewership for the group stage alone doubled from 2022.
That's amazing.
We love to see that.
If you put it on, we will watch.
Exactly. To be part of that and to see that was just the coolest thing ever. I also want to shout out the other soccer championships. Number 36, Nigeria won the Women's Africa Cup of Nations title, beating Morocco 3-2. And then Brazil beat Colombia in penalties to win the Copa America Femenina final. And this was a crazy game. It was 4-4 before they went into penalties, and then Brazil takes it home. So congratulations, Brazil. Congratulations, Nigeria. And congratulations to England.
Yes. So much soccer, so much football.
Let's get into what we're looking forward to this week. Danielle, what do you have for us?
There are so many WNBA games happening, and I'm looking forward to the Washington Mystics versus the Minnesota Lynx. They play this Friday, August 8th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on League Pass. How about you?
The NWSL is finally back after a month-long international break. Gotham takes on the Washington Spirit on Saturday, August 9th at 12 p.m. on ESPN. I wanted to point this out because the NWSL started up this past weekend after that long break, and Trinity Rodman is back and played for the first time after nearly 4 months this past Sunday. She has been struggling with a back injury. She has taken time to go to London and get it figured out, and also spend time with her boyfriend, Ben Shelton, and those posts have been beautiful and amazing. But she is back on the pitch, and she came in as a sub, and the game was tied 1-1 between the Washington Spirit and the Portland Thorns, and she scored the game-winning goal to put them up 2-1. She was emotional after the game. She was crying. She said this injury, she might not ever play the same way again. And it's just heartbreaking. And to have her back and then to score, and she scored at home at Audi Field. And when she went in, the fans at Audi Field went crazy. So just really, really happy for her. And anyone who has injuries, I'm just like, just please take care of yourself and do what you need to do. And I hope things get better. So thinking about Trinity Rodman as well, and really happy for her that she's back out there.
That is it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports and share the podcast with your friends. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us.
See you next week.